This is chapter number 5. Chapter number 5, the internet and its uses. First of all, we are going to look into that. What is the difference between internet and the World Wide Web? So, first of all, the word internet, it comes from interconnected networks. First of all, you need to understand that what is a network. A network is when more than one computer or two or more computers connect with each other, they form a network. And when millions of networks connect with each other, they form an internet. I'm repeating back. For example, if there is a standalone computer means a computer that is not connected with the internet, means it only relies on the resources that the computer only have. But if I give the computer an internet connection, that means that now the computer has resources which the computer can share across the world, because the internet provides you connectivity so that you can access throughout any of the computer into your world. Now, if it is a standalone computer, this is not a network. But if two computers are connected with each other, or more than two computers are connected into a connection, so this is known as a network. You're learning number one. For example, if I'm taking a class with any of my student, it is a network. And if I'm taking a class with more than one student, it is also a network. But if my class is being recorded and I'm sharing this class throughout all of the entire students in all of the world, so that means that with the help of an internet and internet connection or networks, I'm sharing all of my lectures, all of my documents with everyone, right? Basic example is that first of all is that we form a network. How we form a network? When one or more than one computer connect with each other, we form a connection. And when millions of computers connect with each other, then they forms an internet. The world internet comes from the interconnected networks, because it is a worldwide connection of interconnected networks. Now you need to understand that the internet is not only a standalone or a single term. It comprises of unlimited networks, because it compromises of the network that are all around the world. So this is how that we are able to connect with each other. No matter if I'm here in Pakistan, or no matter I'm here in anywhere in the world, we can connect it. So what do you think, is that internet is something that can be touched, or is it tangible? Tangible means it can be touched. No, it cannot be touched. Internet is basically a connection that relies on your physical infrastructure. And when I talk about the physical infrastructure, I mean that your internet is dependent on your routers, your internet is dependent on your switches, your internet is dependent on your internet connection devices, right? I mean to say that physical infrastructure. Physical infrastructure means that your internet is established on some hardware devices. You have router, you have analog to digital, digital to analog converters, and this is how we connect each and everyone into a network. And when millions of computers connect with each other, this is to be known as an internet. So do you have any confusion in internet? कोई
No,
confusion
sir.
तो नहीं है?
No, sir.
Okay, now furthermore, let's discuss the World Wide Web. You need to first understand the fact that internet and World Wide Web are two broader terms and they are not same. I just explain you what is an internet. Now, when I talk about the World Wide Web, this is a part of this is a part of our internet. Like if I say that if I'm talking about HTTP, or if I'm talking about FTP, that is going to be coming to your syllabus afterwards, or if I'm talking about World Wide Web, you need to understand that these are some certain protocols. What are protocols? Protocols are set of rules that we should must follow in order to complete our connection. For example, we have some protocols, we have some rules for our class that is just going right here as well. And those protocols are that, for example, if you want to take my class, you have to be there from 7 to 8 p.m. That we just confirmed. The other protocol is that you need to listen focusedly that what I'm speaking. So these are some set of rules, right? Some set of protocols that right now I'm focusing on. So World Wide Web is also a part of the internet. I mean to say that this is certainly not whole of the internet, but these are parts of the internet that the user takes help to access the websites or the web browser. right? You need to understand that whenever I open up a website, there is a www mentioned. Why is that? Because the World Wide Web is one of the protocol, it is one of the rule, and it basically consists of massive collection of web pages that uses hypertext transfer protocol, that is your HTTP. So what is a World Wide Web? A World Wide Web is a way of accessing information using the internet. You just need to understand that this is only a way that how you can access the information on the internet, right? There are certain set of rules that whenever I access something, that for example, if right now I'm taking a class with you, this class is being conducted on Zoom. So Zoom is a way of accessing information. Zoom is a way of accessing uh, our classes on the internet. For example, if I am talking to you on WhatsApp, so WhatsApp is a way of accessing information. So you need to understand that whenever I talk about internet, whenever I talk about networks, this means that there is always some certain ways of accessing information. And when it comes to a World Wide Web, it is not certainly the whole of the internet, but it is a part of your internet that helps you to access the information, or that helps you to use the HTTP protocol. HTTP protocol we are going to discuss further, but up till now this should be clear that what is the internet and what is a World Wide Web and what is the difference between them, right? Now, furthermore, if I just go through their differences between the internet and the World Wide Web. So, with the help of internet, it provides you a functionality to send and receive emails. Without internet, you cannot log into any of your email hosting service, and you cannot send or receive emails. It also allows you to audio chatting, video chatting, text messages, and all of this. Internet also make use of transmission protocols. I have already explained you that what are protocols. Protocols are the set of rules that the computer must agree before making a connection. It make use of transmission protocols. There are two types of transmission protocols, TCP and IP. IP stands for Internet Protocol, and TCP stands for Transmission Control Protocol. And you know it that why do we always use a IP? You see that right now all of us have our home addresses. For example, I'm living in Karachi. I'm living in somewhere between defense, right? So that is my physical address of my home. But on internet, what is going to be your physical address, or your address, or your, or the address that represents you, that is your internet protocol, that is your IP address. So an internet also make use of your transmission protocols, and these protocols helps you to connect with each other. An internet is an worldwide collection of interconnected networks, means that there are many networks, there are many devices that are connected with each other. Apart from this, we have a World Wide Web. What is a World Wide Web? It is a collection of multimedia web pages and other informations on website. Now that means that now if you want to access the information with the help of an internet, you need to implement www. That is an extension for opening up any website, and this provides you with the support, with the access to access unlimited websites on your internet. What is HTTPS? HTTPS protocols are written using the HTML language, hypertext markup language. What are URLs? Beta URLs are uniform resource locator. They are used to specify that what is the location of your website. Your web resources are accessed by a web browser, like a World Wide Web. You can open any website with the help of a web browser, and it uses internet to access the information from the web server as well. So, up till now, what is an internet? What is a World Wide Web? And what is the difference between both of them? Is it clear to both of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay, so After this, we are going to look into that what are URLs, uniform resource locators. So uniform resource locators are a part of your web browser. Means a web browser can be Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Firefox, but you need to understand this first, that you are not going to write any of the brand names into your exam. You have to write only the category. This is not allowed as per the CAIE syllabus. So web browsers are software that allows users to access and displays web pages on your device's screen. A browser, with the help of a browser, you can interpret your HTML language. What is this HTML language? Websites are always written in your hypertext markup language, and since it's a programming language, it is converted with the help of a web browser into visuals so that it can provide you a better result on your user's display. Uniform resource locators are text addresses to access your website. For example, if I want to reach to your home, there is certainly going to be some address. So similarly, if I want to reach to a website, there is also going to be some address, and URL are a part of that. So how does a URL works? An example of an URL is right here. This is a syntax. So first of all, it says protocol. Now, when it comes to a protocol, this means that I am referring to your HTTP or HTTPS, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol or Hypertext Transfer Protocol S. Again, now, what is going to be your website address? It could be HTTP google.com. Now, what is your Google? Google is your website name that which you are referring to, and obviously you are going to write www when writing this. There, that is your domain host, and .com, .org, .pk. This is your type of your domain, and this can be other country codes as well. For example, if you are visiting any website that is from UK, so you are going to type that www dot the website name dot UK dot Australia, and you might have overcome of these types of websites. Just after this, you have your path. Your path is the web page where it is stored. That means that you need to direct yourself to that website. So let me give you a quick demonstration for this. Okay, for example, right in front of you, you can see that this is Google. Now, if I just type here, is if I just type here www.google.com. Now, when I'm typing this www.google.com, you can see that this is this right here. This is an HTTPS. That means that this is a protocol. This could be HTTP or this could be HTTPS. HTTPS are widely used because this is an example of a secured connection, which means hypertext transfer protocol secured, and HTTPS gives you a padlock sign just like it, right? You can see here that it's written that your connection is secure, right? This means that this is applied with an SSL certificate. This is an example of an SSL certificate that states that your website is secured. So you are always suggested to go on to the websites that stands with HTTPS. Again, this is the World Wide Web, the other extension, and then it's Google, right? Google is your domain name, and then .com is your domain type. For example, I can write here www.sirwamiq.com. Now, if I'm going to write here, you can see that this www is my extension, and Sir Wamiq is going to be my domain, and this .com is going to be my domain type. So I can even convert it to www.pk.ae.uk, that states that what is my country or what is my region, right? So this the whole of it is to be known as your URL, your uniform resource locator, and it certainly does not always ends on the website. That means that now whenever you are also keeping some of the files onto your server, you have to redirect your files as well. A simple explanation for this could be is that, for example, right here, this is my desktop. Let's make a folder here. Let's type it Sir Wamiq website. Now, if into this folder I want to I want anyone to access this past paper file. That means that what is going to be my path name. And if I store this folder into my website server, now this is going to be something like www.https. Oh, wait, https servamic.com/servamic Akram and slash my past paper file. You need to understand that HTTPS is an extension itself. Sarvamic is my domain name. This is my domain type. And what is this? Past paper slash Sarvamic. This is this folder that I have kept this file into this folder. So this is a way of accessing those files. So I'm going to keep this folder into my server and I'm going to give you the path name. So this is how your files are shown into your websites, right? Similarly, if you are working with Facebook and you go into my or into you go into my timeline, so it is going to be something like facebook.com/sarvamik. So that means that Facebook has a file named Sarvamik and it is stored into that server. So that's how it shows. So I hope that these 4 to 5 things of a uniform resource locator are clear to you, that what is a domain name? A domain name is the name of the website. What is the domain host? Domain host is the World Wide Web. What is the domain type? A website could be anyone outside the country, or it could be a governmental websites as well. So this is a domain type. What is the country code, from which country you are? What is your path name? What is your file name? So is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Mohammed, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
The difference, okay, so I hope that now you guys know that what is the difference between internet and World Wide Web, and what is the difference between URL as well. So okay, so I was just explaining to you that HTTP and HTTPS as well. So HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. This is one of the example of a protocol, and this is a set of rules that must be obeyed when you are transferring some files over the internet. If it is HTTPS, then you are provided with a padlock sign, the one that I just showed you. And HTTPS stands for that this is a secure website and this is a secure way of sending and receiving a data onto your internet. For example, you might have across any banking site as well. Let's open some of any bank website, Mizan Bank. This is an example of a banking website, and obviously that when I'm going on to internet banking, I'm going to make some transactions, and making transactions are highly risky onto the internet because internet is always prone to viruses. It is always prone to hackers. So how do we deal with it? We apply security certificates here to encrypt our data between the sender and the receiver. We apply here HTTPS right here. So you can see as well that your connection is secure. The certificate is valid. This is issued to Mizan Bank. So that's how the HTTP and HTTPS make use of your websites. The next title is that what do you understand by web browser, or what are the functions of the web browser? Uh, Functions of a web browser are pretty simple. You know it that a web browser has, it always have a home page. We can store our favorite websites, we can keep a history, or we can even delete it. We have the ability to go forward and backward. Many websites can be opened multiple times. We make use of cookies. So what are cookies? Cookies are basically your temporary data that is used so that the such this all of your information, such as your email address, your passwords that you have saved, are stored in your cookies. They can also make use of hyperlinks as well. And what is a web browser? A web browser is a software that allow users to access and display web pages on their device screen. They helps by converting the HTML language. What is this HTML language? Let me explain you as well that how do it convert. For example, this is this is a page of a website. Now, if I just right click here, oh, so I'm unable to even right click here due to some security protocols. So you can see that this is an HTTP, the HTTPS because it is a secured website. But let's go on to Google. Okay, yes, now I'm able to right click here. And if I'm going on to go on to view page source, now this is your page source. Certainly, you cannot understand anything, but I just want to convey one thing is that this whole of the page is written in an HTML form. This is your doc type HTML. This is an HTML language. And first of all, if I want to work on any website, I write it down in an HTML language. I create the body, I create the HTML, I create the text as well. And then with the help of a web browser, what it do is that it just connect all of these coding into one place and converts it into a website like this. So it's all you know, it prevents you a more graphical representation. But if you go on to the code of this, you are certainly not going to get anything. These are some functions of a web browser as well. I hope that it is clear to you. Acha ji, right here now we are going to discuss that how a website and web pages are retrieved and how you access a website. Retrieval and location of your web pages. So what is an HTML? Again, an HTML is a language that is used to display contents of the browser. All websites are written in HTML. I have even showed you one of the example and they are hosted on a web server. They are hosted on a web server means that all of your important resources are stored on that server. And on when you access that server, that means that you are retrieving the information and that has their own IP address. Now, to retrieve pages from a website, your browser needs to know the IP address. IP address, abhi हमने discuss किया that every sender and receiver has an IP address and how I just got to know that how I'm communicating with each other. So there are your certainly domain name server, DNS. What is it? This works like a phone book. Have you ever seen a phone book? Certainly, we don't have phone books in Pakistan, but outside country we have complete phone logs of each and every service. For example, if I'm living in US, so you would be having a complete phone book that is going to contain all of the contact numbers of electricians, plumbers, cook, security guards all at one place. Now, what is that phone book helping you? It is telling you that if you want to reach to the certain contact, you have to dial this number. And similarly, how does a DNS server works? A DNS server works the same way. It states that if you want to reach to this address, instead of contact numbers, you have your IP addresses, right? So what is a domain name server? It is a system for finding IP addresses for a domain name given in a URL. That means a URL and domain name server eliminates the need for a user to memorize the IP address. Now, this is the responsibility of your DNS server. DNS server, whenever I'm going to open up a website, the DNS server is going to look into the IP address of the computer and then it is going to help communicate with each other. Let's say, for example, right here, you can see that this is my computer. And first of all, it accesses the DNS server. The DNS server accesses the other DNS server. It gives the information back to it and it is sent back to the computer. Just when the DNS server has established the connection between your computer and the website, establishing connection means that now they are aware of each and every one IP address now, then they are able to connect with the website. Because if I do not have the correct IP address of my website or my computer, I mean to say that if they are not properly communicated with each other, that means that we are unable to retrieve and locate our web pages. DNS server. What is a DNS server? It contains a database of URLs with the matching IP address. For example, if someone has to open a certain website, it is going to provide you with the matching IP addresses of all of them, so that it is sent back, it is received back, and the computer can communicate with each other. Now, right in front of you is the process as well of a DNS server. First of all, the user opens the browser and types in the URL, for example, huda.com in the browser, and the browser asks the DNS server for the IP address for the website. First of all, आपको IP address जो है बताना होता है. अगर IP address नहीं है बेटा, तो you are unable to establish a connection with each other. Right? अगर IP address नहीं है, तो you cannot communicate with each other, because first of all you must going to have an address. So let's assume that DNS server cannot find this in its database, so it is sent to the other DNS server to look into it. If the other DNS server finds that URL, it maps it to a certain IP address, and then IP address is sent back to the first server. First server means उस server को जिसको ये address नहीं मिला था, which now puts the IP address and associated URLs into cache database. फिर दोबारा से आपका जो भी IP एड्रेस है वो आपके यूजर के कंप्यूटर के ऊपर जाएगा, और जब आपके कंप्यूटर को IP एड्रेसेस वेबसाइट के और आपके आपस में कम्युनिकेट हो चुके होंगे, now the computer is successful in setting up a communication with the website server, that these are the pages that are required to be downloaded, and that's how HTML we are able to access that HTML servers as well. Browser का काम क्या है, is that it translates the HTML language, which is used to structure the content and display on the on and then display the information on the user's computer. So is this clear? इसमें कोई confusion तो नहीं है? Hello, are you here?
जी सर, क्लियर है.